Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country. Mr. Tobin.
Thank you. Warami, and welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and for the invitation to welcome you all here this morning. The acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated, particularly by our elders. Education is highly valued in Aboriginal culture as well. Knowledge meant survival, and our elders are traditionally accorded great respect for their accumulated wisdom and experience. My family descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. As such, he enrolled his daughter, Maria, into the Native Institution, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. She studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them and became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown now stands. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason, for your progress progresses us all. Your advancement is our advancement. Now, this was perhaps more readily understood in traditional times when camps were smaller and clan groups abided by strict sharing laws. It meant that the food that you caught and brought back got distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the whole community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we get clever about it. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he described the people he encountered at Botany Bay as one of the happiest people he had met in the world. They had nothing, he wrote, but the tools that they carried. They made shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, harvested food from the land without tilling the earth. In traditional times, everyone was accorded rights to the country or clan area where he or she was born into, so there was no homelessness and no rich and poor either. Everyone had roughly the same amount of gear, what you could carry. There were no armies or jails, no rents or mortgages, no police. We have no history of slavery or empire building. People cooperated to collect resources which were then shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state, with rivers clean and unpolluted and people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. So remember, this is not a dream, this was normal life for a long, long time. And there is no reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. So I would say, dream big, expect great things from your lives, and do great things. There's great magic in the world. Let's use it to create a future worthy of our children and a country we can be proud of again. All right, we can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you good people graduate. Just want to say congratulations to you all and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Yano.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan. Mr. Egan.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and I'm pleased also this morning to see quite a number of tiny tots, including a number of babies. In fact, over on this side we have 3 very freshly hatched triplets. I don't think I've ever had triplets at a graduation ceremony before, but they're very welcome Now, one thing is certain with little children and babies, during a long graduation ceremony, they're sure at some stage to make a noise or cry. And we have a very firm rule here: when they do, you are not under any circumstances to take them outside. You are to stay where you are, because none of us will be annoyed by the sound of a little child making a noise. We've all heard a lot worse than that. I certainly have. I was a Member of Parliament for 25 years, so I can cope with most things. And in any event, what we've found is that if someone cries through a graduation ceremony, they're back within 25 years to take out a PhD. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these PhD recipients down here at some stage wailed through a graduation ceremony. Well, it's my very great privilege today to preside at this very important ceremony. And first, I welcome all of our graduands, and I hope that today will be a very happy and a very memorable occasion for all of you. But it's only going to be a happy occasion if you relax. Now, some of you look relaxed, but some of you don't. Some of you look very nervous and apprehensive. Nothing can go wrong. I mean, I assume you've all passed your exams, so that's behind you. The very worst thing that can happen is that you fall over on the stage. That's happened. But we've got everything covered. All these nice people are here to pick you up if you do. So just don't worry, just relax and have a great day. Because you deserve to take pride, great pride in your graduation. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. Today I also want to welcome, and especially welcome, those of you who are sitting behind our graduands as their invited guests. Because if you think about it for a moment or two, you've all obviously done very well too. The very fact that you're here, the fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. So mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, cousins, sons and daughters, grandmothers and grandfathers, friends, husbands and wives, partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, lovers, or whatever you are, congratulations, and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role, because I have another very important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they'll soon become. I want you to make sure that the testaments that they receive today, the degrees in other words, are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure that you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, I hope it won't come as a shock to you to learn that Macquarie University is not one of those 50 universities. We're relatively young, not yet 50 ourselves. We're only 49 years of age. But in those 49 years, we've come a long way. We now have more than 130,000 Macquarie graduates living in more than 140 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're regarded as one of Australia's leading research universities and are currently extending our research as we are our course offerings and facilities. We're always trying to engage with the world around us. We've forged strong alliances with the community and with industry and are keen to establish more. On your way here this morning, you may have seen our new Macquarie University Hospital, which is only 2 years old, which is used not only for its primary purpose of treating sick people, but also used by the students and academics in our School of Advanced Medicine. You may also have seen our new library, which was opened last year and which is absolutely state-of-the-art, and I suspect the envy of every other university in the land. Or you may have seen our new Advanced Australian Hearing Hub, which was officially opened last week, and which is a world-leading institute dedicated to advances in hearing, speech and language science. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Thank you.
Chancellor, I call on Mr. Tommy Ng, who is graduating today with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Mr. Ng.
Chancellor. Members of the university, fellow graduates and guests, a very good morning to you. My name is Tommy Ng, and it's indeed a great honor to be standing here delivering the graduation speech on behalf of all the graduates. Before coming up on stage, I thought about what would be the best way to offer up my congratulatory wishes to everyone seated in the hall. Well, I wish I could look at each one of you in the eyes and collectively, with our fists clenched, celebrate this special occasion by shouting out loud, "Yes, we have done it. We have really done it. We are graduating." I do not know whether it has been done before in a ceremony like this, a very solemn ceremony. But I suppose everything has its precedence. And I really like to get you now to turn to your left and to your right and really congratulate them, the person sitting beside you, with a really warm handshake. Can we do that now? Okay, that kind of lessen the mood a little bit. Okay, now I wish I could end on a high and walk off the stage now. But some wise counsel from the graduation unit said, no, that is not a good idea, that is not appropriate. And besides, there has been a very good tradition that past graduates deliver very, very meaningful and inspiring speeches. So given the legacy, I will attempt, in my very limited capacity, to deliver a speech that hopefully would inspire and challenge you. So here it goes. First up, I'd like to ask, what is the most important lesson you learned at Macquarie? Is it Baddeley's working memory model? Give me a break. Fisher's sums of squares? Or is it Skinner's conditioning and learning principles? Although content knowledge is important for us to pass examinations, but may I take the liberty to suggest that our attitude towards learning is far, far more important. To this end, what I've learned at Macquarie is always to keep an open mind to new ideas. Be teachable, but at the same time, critical. Macquarie has also honed in me, and I believe in you too, qualities such as good time management, priority setting, working under pressure, and many other life skills. And it is these very life skills that will prepare us for the real world beyond this university. Therefore, I urge all of us to garner these qualities as we journey into the next phases of our life really making a difference in the world in our own unique way as a proud Macquarie graduate. While each of us has at one point started a different level of study, embarked on different courses, and spent varying numbers of years at Macquarie, we have all arrived at this significant moment in our life. It is our graduation ceremony. Dear graduates, this is real. In fact, surreal, at least to me, because I was almost a dropout. We are really graduating. May I urge all of us to now pause for a moment and begin to really savor the sweetness of our achievement. Kudos to each one of you, for yours must truly have been a commendable effort to earn you a place in this ceremony. It is during times like this that we ought to spend a moment to think about significant others who have helped us reach where we are today. Personally, I am extremely grateful to Macquarie University for the scholarship, the Center of Cognition and Disorder, CCD, for the conducive and dynamic learning environment, and my supervisors for their support, love, and guidance. And last but not least, my wife, who is not here today, who before I started my PhD sternly said to me one day, "Do not screw up on this." Well, you see, because I was the sole breadwinner, and it's a huge decision for me to drop everything back home and take this up, for her unwavering faith and trust in me that I have what it takes to complete the degree. As we look forward beyond Macquarie and set the directions of our future endeavors, I would like to share an anecdote that perhaps would spur and challenge you. The story is simple, but drives home an important message that I think each one of us should always remember. So the story goes. It was a cold winter day, and a very, very big dog was plying the street in search for food. As he turned the corner, a small, snowy rabbit was in sight, and he began to chase after it. A dog being a dog, it barked and gave chase. The commotion soon awoke the other dogs in the neighborhood. Although smaller, these dogs too began to bark and make chase. By now, you could imagine a pack of dogs barking and chasing after a small, snowy rabbit. The chase went on for a while. Smaller dogs behind the big dog, and the barking grew louder by the minute. The snowy rabbit was a fighter and was determined not to be caught. The chase continued, and soon it was noticeable that the barking had become fainter and that only a few smaller dogs were lagging behind that very, very big dog. An hour later, all the smaller dogs were nowhere to be seen. And to cut the story short, the big dog caught the snowy rabbit. And I'll just leave the morbid part to your imagination. So, what's the moral of the story? Some might say it's perseverance, others determination, while still others say it's a spirit of not giving up. Well, all these answers are correct, but only to a certain extent, at least to me. Well, didn't the smaller dogs persevere? And weren't they determined? They barked as loud as the big dog and gave chase for up to an hour. I've deliberately emphasized the sizes of the dogs in this story. Well, you see, running behind that big dog, the vision of the smaller dogs was obscured by the very big bottom of the big dog. And in reality, isn't that what often happens to many of us when we cannot see where we are heading, what we are chasing after? Like the smaller dogs, we persevere, but only for a while, never really getting close to our goals. Therefore, as we journey ahead, may we see for ourselves our goals, our direction in life, so that we can begin to make headway towards reaching our full potential and fulfilling our dreams. Thank you. Congratulations once again. Good luck and all the best.
Well done, Tommy, and thank you for that lovely story. It seems you got some very good advice from your wife. I'm sorry that she's not here today because she would be very, very proud of you, very proud of your achievement, and you should be proud of it too. Thank you for coming to Australia to study, and thank you for choosing Macquarie. And I hope that you have a very long association with Macquarie. Thank you once again. I think he deserves another great round of applause. Well, ladies and gentlemen and graduands, we now come to the important part of the ceremony, the key part of the ceremony, the reason we're all here today, and that's the conferring of degrees. Now, this is the part of the ceremony that makes me very nervous, because I'm assured that if I confer a degree on someone who's not entitled to receive it, there's nothing I can do to take it back. So I need to get an ironclad assurance from the Deputy Registrar, Mr. Jonathan Wiley, that each and every one of you has never been late in submitting an assignment, has never missed a class, and is otherwise eligible to graduate today. Jonathan, can you give me that assurance, please?
Chancellor, I certify that all candidates presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees and diplomas they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees and diplomas please stand?
Graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University, and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees or diplomas for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Human Sciences. The faculty teaches courses and conducts research about people, investigating the how and the why. It is home to a number of internationally recognised research centres, conducting groundbreaking research across disciplines in areas such as cognitive science and early childhood education. Exciting opportunities exist for students and researchers alike. The faculty includes research and study areas in advanced medicine, education, linguistics, psychology, early childhood, cognitive science, and the health professions. Chancellor, I now call on Professor Janet Greeley, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Human Sciences, to present the graduates and diplomates. Professor Greeley.
Chancellor, I present to you the graduates and diplomates from the Faculty of Human Sciences whom you have admitted to degrees or awarded diplomas. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Muhammad Hanafi Ahmad Damahuri, for a thesis entitled Catecholamine and Stress, Focus on Tyrosine Hydroxylase. Dr. Nobuaki Akaji for a thesis entitled Questions and Disjunction in Child Language. Dr. Karen Michelle Bontempo for a thesis entitled Interpreting by Design, a study of aptitude, ability and achievement in Australian Sign Language interpreters. Dr. Michael Connors for a thesis entitled Modeling the Mirrored Self in Misidentification Delusion with Hypnosis. Dr. Jun Ding for a thesis entitled Meaning and Morphology, an Isomorphism in English-Chinese Dictionaries. Dr. Hazada Farnoosh for a thesis entitled Morphological Assessment of Bifurcation Cerebral Aneurysms Using Computational Fluid Dynamic Analysis. Dr. Izumi Inui for a thesis entitled Novice Expert Differences in Addressing Translating Challenges, the Development of an Effective Pedagogical Approach to Translator Education. Dr. Georgina Claire Major for a thesis entitled Healthcare Interpreting as Relational Practice. Dr. Amanda Margaret Louise Miller Amberer for a thesis entitled Language Switching, Language Selection and Intervention in Bilingual Aphasia. Dr. Hock Ben Ing for a thesis entitled Neuromagnetic Brain Activity Associated with the Coordination of Movement and Anticipatory Postural Adjustments in Bimanual Load Lifting. Dr. Mahesh Radhakrishnan for a thesis entitled Irish Traditional Singing and South Indian Carnatic Singing, Performance, Language Choice Ideologies, and Musico-Linguistic Artistry. Dr. Melanie Gillespie Rosen for a thesis entitled Philosophy of Dreams. Dr. Stefan Savana for a thesis entitled The Threshold of Self-Consciousness. Dr. Xiaofeng Xia for a thesis entitled The Role of Hemodynamic Analysis in High-Flow Extracranial to Intracranial Bypass Surgery. Dr. Tao Xing for a thesis entitled Neuroplasticity in Autonomic and Respiratory Motor Outputs. Dr. Hanyang Yang for a thesis entitled Nashi, Chinese, and English, Multilingualism in Lijiang. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Translating and Interpreting with the Master of International Relations, Wenjung Che. Jane Mary Lee. Yuming Shan. Sha Zhu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Advanced Surgery, David Bervini. Christian Granianiello. Sanmugaraja Paramasvaran. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Linguistics, Kerry Clive. Lanshi Jiang. Sarah Timms. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Linguistics, Language Program Management. Vanessa Louise Todd, who has been awarded the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Gabriella Gilda Toth. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Linguistics, Literacy, Melinda Ann Allen. Gada Infante. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Linguistics, TESOL, Anna Dorothea Bicknell. Naja Hamza. Dorothy Christina Humphreys. Emmanuel Mafanta. Vesna Vilkovic. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Clinical Audiology, Iram Afzal. Karina Clifford. Helen Elizabeth Jane Coates. Leah Claire Davies. Sherry Amelie Dalalas. Luke James Fraturo. Matthew David Frost. Nicholas Gildari. Jane Irwin. Hannah Lily Kim. Beryl Marlborough. Christine McHugh. Mitchell Quine, who has been awarded the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Lorraine Alyssa Sword, who has been awarded the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Lauren Amy Turner. Hannah Gillian Visser. Maha Mustafa Ahmed Zaitoun. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Clinical Neuropsychology, Vanessa Ming-Ya Leung. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Clinical Psychology, Kirsty Lee Jackman. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Communication in Professions and Organizations, Valerie Elizabeth McIver. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Conference Interpreting, Yuanxi Che. Tian Tian He. Xu Heng. Max Roberts. Boya Wu. Wei Zhang. Yiqian Zhang. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Counseling Psychology, Louise Rose Erickson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Social Health and Counseling, Moi Rosa Hashimoto. Genevieve Elise McLennan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Speech and Language Pathology, Belinda Louise Bosworth. Erin Elizabeth Brantman. Eliza Jane Branford. Victoria Ann Cheevers. Rowan Andrew Cox. Ashley Fatah. Stephanie Kate Friedman. Erin Rose Limbers. Chelsea Ann McRae. Sarah Esther Mintz. Jillian Ostel. Julia Lynn Peters. Monique Celine Pitry. Jennifer Jane Ann Plummer. Melissa Susan Pritchard. Lani Reyes. Catherine Louise Rodda. Candice Silva. Katia Spitaglieri. Corinne Adele Stanley. Christine Vlahos. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Translating and Interpreting, Yumi Abi. Lisa Yutsu Chang. Jingyi Du. Jungsoon Kim. Shi Liu. Xuan Liu. Min Su. Lin Chan Wang. Yu Wang. Chai Yang. Xiarong Shan. Wei Wei Zhang. Shenran Zhao. I present diplomates awarded the postgraduate diploma in applied psychology. Gina Chen. Lisa Marie Gadd. Annette Haggerty. Elizabeth Maria Iaconis. Claire Frances Williams. Nora Yako. I present diplomates awarded the postgraduate diploma in Auslan English Interpreting. Brooke Kim Borden. Ryan James Gook. Kelly Willenberg. I present the diplomate awarded the postgraduate diploma in psychology, Melinda Ann McAlpine. I present the diplomate awarded the postgraduate diploma of organizational behavior, Norel Naidu. I present diplomates awarded the postgraduate diploma of professional psychology, Mustafa Alameddin. Michaela Dara. Diana Dedich. Sarah May Elshami. Maureen Deborah Fitzhenry. Kiara Lee Ippolito. Alice Claire Yaroshevich. Susanna Rahman. Belinda Trakovska. I present diplomates awarded the postgraduate diploma of social health and counseling, Penny Bugden. Sally Ann Elizabeth Button. Tamara Francis. Dan V. Diane Lee. Michael Reese McGee. Francesca Ann McNeil. Keita Lee Rennie. Megan Santiago. Dunit Spears. Gabby Amanda Stern. Eliza Sally Till. Anuj Velji. I present diplomates awarded the Graduate Diploma in Psychology. Rebecca Codrington. Margaret Elizabeth McKechnie Smith. Julia Ann White. I present diplomates awarded the Graduate Diploma of Advanced Psychology. Lorena Victoria Brown. Sarah Brown. I present the graduate admitted to the honors degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honors and the University Medal for Linguistics, Corey James Bill. I present the graduate admitted to the honors degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honors, Buan Tai Lim. I present the graduate admitted to the honors degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology, Jennifer Ann Edgar. I present graduates admitted to the honors degree of Bachelor of Psychology, Susanna Kindred. Megan Claire Phillips. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Science Psychology with first class honours, Elizabeth Margaret Thompson. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Science Psychology, Mevsim Emel Sinmaz. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology with the Diploma of Education, Nilab Mansouri. Soraya Pinato. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Matthew Charles Beaver. Alana Aldona Hannaford Beebe. Matthew James Gorick. Danielle Pascoe. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology, Joanne Marie Berryman. Natalie Catherine Buswell. Rosalie Ann Clark. Alexander Jurovich. Mitchell Luke Fox. Nellie Claire Howes. James Huynh. Bianca Marie Kunjazic. Katie Muskovitz. Melanie Adele Norman. Lachlan James Saville. Emma Louise Spillett. Laura Louisa Toscano. Penelope Ann Widmer. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science Psychology. Natasha Ilievsky. Christina Stephanie Rogers. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Speech and Hearing Sciences. Carrie Louise Allott. Benjamin John Bond. Molly Sarah Bright. Grant Robert Bristow. Matilda Jane Butson. Clara Cam. Alina Campbell. Alexandra Margaret Caruana. Melissa Gay Derwin. Anne Dunn. Haley Kate Edwards. Rebecca Evans. Sophie Madeline Foote. Abby Forster. Emily Jane Hayes. Danielle Huynh. Eva Koyman. Laura Elizabeth Lengel. Megan Jane Lower. Ruya Mahmood. Alana Mackey. Tiffany Jane Marchant. Samantha Maunder. Christine McHale. Sareen Mohammed. Laura Mahmouth Blasdale. Mariam Murad. Clara Oatley. Catherine Frances Perry. Victoria Pisaltis. Shruti Sharma. Candice Slosu. Sarah Jane Sullivan. Dale Swikert. Miriam Tariff. Emily Tutt. Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates and diplomates from the Faculty of Human Sciences.
Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? That glorious voice belongs to Angela Brewer. Would you like to hear Angela sing just a little bit more? Okay, it's very simple. Told your horses. All you have to do is enrol for another degree. And when you come back, I promise you, Angela will be singing at your graduation. I think she deserves another great round of applause. As do our other fabulous musicians, our organist, Dr. James Forsyth. And our trumpeter, Melanie McLaughlin. And also around the hall are some of our alumni volunteers who come along to make sure that your graduation goes smoothly. I think they deserve a round of applause too. It's now my pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Professor Dominic Rowe. Now, Dominic is one of ours. He's the inaugural Professor of Neurology at the Australian School of Advanced Medicine here at Macquarie University. He has studied and worked in London, Newcastle upon Tyne, and Houston in Texas. Since returning from the United States in 1998, he has worked clinically as a neurologist and academic whose research focuses on the mechanisms involved in Parkinson's disease and motor neurone disease. He is the author of 4 textbooks and more than 40 original articles. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Dominic Rowe.
The Honourable Michael Egan, Professor Greeley, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honoured to be giving the occasional address for the Faculty of Human Sciences this morning. Congratulations to every candidate on their achievement, and congratulations to the families of all graduates for their support and encouragement. It's a proud day for all of you. I hope that you pause to reflect on your achievement, as all too often we focus on what we have not yet completed rather than what we have achieved. This human error is all too common, when perhaps because we have achieved a goal, the goal itself seems to have lost some of its lustre. Take time to celebrate today this achievement and share this with your family. As Michael introduced, my name is Dominic Rowe. I'm a neurologist and member of the academic staff here in the Australian School of Advanced Medicine, Faculty of Human Sciences, Macquarie Uni. In preparing this address, the invitation from Kate Maitland gave me specific instructions. She asked me to share with you, in a brief, underline brief, talk, some of my own experiences in learning to inspire you on your graduation day. I'm honoured to do so and hope that I can achieve at least some of the tasks set out before me. I promise to share with you some of my experiences in education and hope that some of these messages may inspire you. And I promise to be brief, Kate. The first message that I'd like to give you today is trust your judgment and play to your strength. In high school, last century, I was fortunate enough to study classical languages. These subjects were not seen by my peer group as prized knowledge. Indeed, Latin and ancient Greek were the province of nerds at my school, and I guess I can't change my spots wearing a bow tie. Latin and Greek were amazing subjects, dead languages brought to life by gifted teachers. Although no longer in use, the literature from hundreds and thousands of years ago illustrated life in a period long gone. Catullus, Caesar, Homer, Cicero, Euripides, Eumenides, Plato stated the elements of life today echoing those of the past. As I was also studying physics and chemistry, I came to the junction where I was unable to carry all these subjects forward into my final exams. Although I loved all of these subjects, I found that the symmetry and logic of physics and chemistry perhaps more appealing to my abilities. I reflected for a long time and made up my mind to drop Latin and Greek and concentrate on physics and chemistry. With heavy heart, I made an appointment with my classics teacher to tell him of my decision. Now, the teacher in question was a formidable character. 160 centimetres in every dimension. He had a sardonic wit and a vitriolic turn of phrase. Very nervous, quivering in my boots, I told Father Fraser of my decision to drop Latin and Greek to pursue physics and chemistry. After telling him of my decision, there was a long pause before his reply. "Well, lad, if you'd rather peer at your own snot in a test tube, go ahead. Classics improve your mind." Unfortunately, I didn't have the wit or courage to retort, "But sciences improve your life." The second message that I'd like to share with you is, have fun, enjoy what you do. I finished high school and commenced studies at Sydney Uni. In the early 80s, the medicine course at Sydney Uni was an exercise in rote learning. Now, rote method is less popular today as a method of learning, but still has its place. Nothing supplants semantic knowledge won by effort. I found the course unpalatable, overly prescriptive, in short, boring as batshit. Sorry, Chancellor. I found diversion in music, writing and arranging, for med reviews and playing in big bands around town. I was conscientiously doing anything other than the uni work that was required of me. Not surprisingly, I failed a subject called Introductory Medical Sciences in the first term, found myself warming a chair in the Dean's office while he decided whether I could sit a make-up exam in my holidays to continue first year. Fortunately for me, he allowed me to sit the post, but the next 2 years were hard slog. I hated having to regurgitate disconnected hairballs of knowledge, trying to digest the bazour before starting medical studies. I knew that if I continued in the same vein, I would fail. My dad would kill me. What I wanted to do was learn rather than be taught, and I changed courses to complete a research degree in biochemistry under the tutelage of Jerry Wake. Now, how prokaryotic molecular genetics can seem to be enjoyable might appear to be a bit of a mystery, but the project, the process, the place, and most importantly, the people were fantastic. It was a setting that was enjoyable, and although cosmid cloning of the Bacillus subtilis chromosome might be seen by some to be a tad dry, it was a lot of fun. I learnt many valuable lessons in Jerry Wake's lab, including the importance of method, and the aphorism of Gordy Tompkins was up on one wall. Gordy Tompkins is one of the fathers of modern biochemistry, and his aphorism is that an experiment is only as good as the assay. The last message I'd like to leave you with is take risks. I've taken many risks in my career, some of them big risks, but seemingly small when compared to those taken by others. The Australian School of Advanced Medicine at Macquarie University Hospital was a risk taken by Macquarie Uni initially 7 years ago. This bold move by Macquarie, done by no other university in Australia, has transformed our university with a premier hospital and clinic precinct that's now coming up to its 3rd anniversary this June. Today, there are doctoral and master's students graduating in the Faculty of Human Sciences, a proud moment for the Dean and all the members of the Faculty of Human Sciences and Australian School of Advanced Medicine. Recently, Macquarie has invested in a motor neurone disease research group, recruiting the best scientists in Australia to work on a cure for this horrible disease. This MND group is the largest single institutional investment into motor neurone disease research ever in the history of Australia. Here at Macquarie, we manage approximately 10% of the Australian population with motor neurone disease. For those of you who are unfamiliar with motor neurone disease, it's a neurodegenerative illness that strikes at any age, from 19 to 90. It selectively damages neurons in your brain and spinal cord responsible for voluntary movement. It robs those afflicted by motor neurone disease of endurance, strength, mobility, swallowing, breathing, and ultimately their life. It's a fatal disease with an average survival of 3 to 4 years, although there are some notable survivors, including Stephen Hawking and another occasional speaker at this ceremony, Paul Brock, who I think spoke in this position 2 years ago. In its most malignant form, motor neurone disease can result in death 6 months from symptom onset. More than 600 Australians die each year from motor neurone disease, twice the number of those that die from HIV/AIDS. It's often quoted that motor neurone disease is a rare disease. It's not. The lifetime risk of an Australian dying from motor neurone disease is 1 in 250. In this room, at least 2 people will develop motor neurone disease. Here at Macquarie, we've had 6 members of academic and professional staff alone with motor neurone disease. We must find methods that allow us to slow and stop this awful disease, to turn the average survival from 3 to 4 years into more than 20 years, perhaps even stopping the progression of disease before the onset of significant disability. This will only be accomplished with research. We already possess the tools to stop genetic forms of motor neurone disease being passed on to the next generation. Macquarie has taken risks in establishing first the Australian School of Advanced Medicine and then Macquarie University Hospital. A huge roll of the dice that everyone around Australia said was going to fail. They were wrong. Macquarie University has invested into motor neurone disease research more than any other university or research institute in Australian history. With this investment risk, we will identify the causes, establish the biology, and develop therapies to slow and stop this disease. I hope that no one in this room ever has to experience this disease firsthand. I congratulate all the graduates from the Health Faculty of Human Sciences. Hans Krebs, one of the fathers of modern biochemistry, famously once said, "Science moves forward because young scientists continue to perform experiments that old scientists knew wouldn't work." I implore all of you to trust your judgment, play to your strengths, have fun, enjoy what you do, learn from your mistakes, and take risks. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure graduates you'll agree there was some great advice there, and I think you'll also agree that some very great work is being done here at Macquarie University. Now, I didn't study the classics, so I can only assume that the term batshit is a Latin expression. Is that right? Yeah. Good. I was just worried it might have been a Greek expression, but I thought it was Latin. Yes. Well, I think we've been very privileged to hear a truly great occasional address with some great advice. Trust your judgment, have fun, and take risks. And I think Professor Rowe deserves another great round of applause. And wouldn't it be fabulous if this university was the place that discovered the cure for that dreadful, dreadful disease? All we can do is work at it. And I'm sure that with people like Professor Rowe, we might get there. Congratulations, Professor Rowe. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it's certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of Macquarie alumni, which now spans the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, to attend alumni events, perhaps use our aquatic and fitness or sporting facilities, or even, if the mood takes you, just to come back and enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world, and you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either, because almost everything you do, in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So, as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not just for your own benefit, but also for the betterment of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you've enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, to go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. I hope also that you'll always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today. So, to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do a couple of things. First, graduates, I'd like you all now to please stand. Now I'd like you to place your testameurs on the seats behind you and turn around to face your families and friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. You can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be leaving in just a moment. Here on the dais are representatives of our academic staff who have also supported you throughout your journey, and I think they deserve your thanks too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the official party will now leave the courtyard through the centre aisle and will be followed by all of the graduates. I invite you now to please stand, and please remain standing until the last of the graduates have processed out. And then I invite you to join us at the University Court for some light refreshments. Well, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you and good luck, graduates.